All right, welcome to this week's Points and Miles report on traveling on everyday spend. Doing it on a Wednesday today. I'm going to be traveling with my wife to go see our son for the weekend. Really looking forward to that. So I didn't want to miss an opportunity to be with you all, to go over the news and for us to chat and take any questions or anything going on. So just wanted to let you all know it'll go back to Thursdays next week, but let's do it for a Wednesday today. Let's get right to the news that we've got. As far as the credit card offers, we do have a couple of changes, but I'll note a few things. So as far as the Hilton credit cards, we do have till near the end of this month, April 29th. I did do a video on reviewing all of those credit cards. So if you have any interest in the cards, I definitely would suggest reviewing the video to help you make sure that you're picking the right card for you. I'll have a link for that in the description. We also have the Marriott Bonvoy Bevy, as well as the Brilliant, both with still some really high historical numbers that are going on right now. And so if you're looking at Marriott, I am going to have a video for that out by next week, going over the personal credit cards, because there are some things to look at between Chase and American Express, but that'll be out next week. We still have the Alaska Airline credit cards, as well as Air France. The Venture Business card, I have to mention it because it's so obscene. This card is basically the business version of the Venture X, but you have a potential to get 350,000 points. It's obscene, but that spend is even more obscene. So that it's in two pieces: 150,000 points for $30,000 worth of spend in the first 3 months. That's pretty standard. You can unlock another 200,000 points for literally spending a total of $200,000 in the first 6 months. If you've got that much business going on, congratulations, you might as well get the card. But that is crazy numbers, but wanted to make sure that you're aware of it. Chase, we still have the preferred, the unlimited, as well as the Avios credit cards, Aer Lingus, British Airways, and Iberia. We still have the Disney cards. United, I just did a video for all of the United cards to kind of do a full review on all of the cards, as well as the changes with the lounge. I'll have a link for that as well. If you're looking at any of those cards, it should be very helpful to help you pick which one's the best one for you. And then we still have Citi Business credit card, as well as US Bank, and the Choice Privileges no annual fee credit card up to 60,000 points. Barclays is still doing the Wyndham credit cards, as well as JetBlue Plus. So I wanted to make you aware of all of that. I want to make sure to say hello to everybody. Xavier, thank you so much for coming in and being so kind, even with a super chat right off the bat. Can't thank you enough for your support. It's really appreciated, for you just even viewing, let alone coming on and donating. So thank you so much. Matt, appreciate you coming in. I know that him and Lonnie just did I think it's a 45-minute video picking apart BILT and what they need to do. That'll be a good watch if you're to look at. Always recommend him. Mr. Cool, thank you so much. Well, thanks for coming in. Matt says that Venture welcome offer is just silly. Yeah, I mean, it's obscene. They really are doubling down on it being like a corporation that is getting their cards. James V, what's up? Thanks for coming in, sir. And that business is going after Amex high business spender. I would agree, but I mean, those numbers are getting so high. I'm really curious of how much conversion they're doing when they get those numbers to this ridiculous number. So I'd agree that that's who they're going after. After the spin on the Venture X business card is like a 640,000 point offer. Yeah, anyway, yeah, that's great. But thank you all. So When we get to the transfer bonuses, and I just want to make sure to say, Happy Tom, appreciate you coming in. Thanks for stopping. As far as transfer bonuses, not much new. We just have the Virgin Atlantic 30% on City through May 17th as the new transfer bonus that we're seeing. And then as far as points and miles opportunities, as we always talk about, there are so many of these that I list. And there'll be links as much as I have space for in the description to include all of those links. I'm just going to hit on the ones that are new this week, as well as ones that might be ending soon that you might be interested in. And Vincent, thank you so much for stopping in and the donation. It's really appreciated. Thank you so much. As far as points and miles opportunities, I will mention Accor Live Limitless because we're going to hit about a couple of their locations when we get into our hotel section. But they constantly are having different promotions on their for that program for all Accor Live Limitless. So if you are doing some traveling, it's at least worth looking at for some of their for some of their properties. Alaska, I'm only going to mention them as far as the fact of it being, some people might get caught off guard with it being a 60% discount. It is a discount, but really when you get down to it, 60% is still 1.85 cents per point. Once again, we only use that as a baseline. It's not what you need to make your decisions off of. Your redemption will always determine the value of these points. But that's not some outstanding number. I know 60% could throw some people off, so I just wanted to point that out. Best Western, we have some different items, but we've had them there for a bit. Copa Airlines, I'll mention because of the fact that that one ends on April 18th. And they are doing up to 100,000 points at up to 60% bonus on purchasing miles. There's different uses for it, but the biggest point value or redemption is really going to be using it for Panama. So as I have noted there. Choice hotels, you can purchase points through April 30th, so I'll note that. And then I would point out Frontier is a new one with 50% off of their base fare. Discount code Fly Green ends April 25th. And this is for travel through August 18th, but Frontier is very picky on those days that you can travel. And for this one, it's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. The next one we'll look at is, I'll mention Hilton purchasing of points because we see, just to remind people, we do see these Hilton purchasing of points at 100% pretty often. So just in case if you see it, don't feel like it's the last time you ever will see it. It can be a good deal for you. Once again, you will determine if it is. But it's targeted, but even I saw the same 100%. So if I see it, you can get the 100% because I just don't normally get the good ones. Hyatt, they have a new one today, and I was spending some time looking at that and talking with my wife about it. Savor the Sunshine. It's an up to 40% off on select stays, and this is related to their all-inclusive resorts. You do have to book by April 30th. Travel needs to be between June 1st and September 30th. Select locations will have perks such as free stays for kids, complimentary nights, spa discounts, etc., even airfare credits in some cases. I did do some looking, and you can easily see the Savor the Sunshine pricing. It's not as easy to kind of identify if the stay that you're doing is going to include different credits. So if you're interested, take some time to look at it. I think there's probably some benefits there, but it was kind of a slow go for me as I was looking at some of these opportunities. Hawaiian, I mentioned them because obviously with Hawaiian and Alaska being a one-for-one that you can move around, this one's at a 50% bonus at a slightly higher rate. So once again, don't just focus on Hawaiian versus Alaska. Both are going to be good at a one-to-one opportunity. Frontier has extended their free check bag. Obviously, after the whole Southwest fallout, we saw different airlines try to offer status, and then Frontier really jumped on the free check bag wagon. But you do need to be a Discount Den member, which has a $40 enrollment fee. You do have to book by April 22nd for flights between April 22nd and August 18th. ITA Airways, this is earning double points on flights between U.S. and Rome. You do have to purchase the tickets between April 7th and April 30th. They do fly out of Boston, Chicago, LAX, Miami, JFK, San Francisco, as well as Dulles. Now, ITA has joined Lufthansa. I think it's a 49% stake. And they will eventually be moving to Star Alliance, but I'll be talking about Delta as it relates to them shortly. Korean Air, I had not heard of a Hot Picks promo. This is not one of those promos where it's like 30 days that you get a chance to use it. So this is savings of 10,000 up to 10,000 points on a round trip flight. You do have to book and travel, but you have all the way till October 25th. Popular cities that you'll find, and I'll have a link for the landing page of this. Cities include Bangkok, Dubai, Madrid, Tokyo. There is only one U.S. city currently for this particular promotion, and it's Las Vegas, and I believe going to South Korea, of course. So I'll have a link for that so that you can be able to look at all of the different options for that page. And then I would say let's Southwest, 50% discount when you're purchasing points. That is a new one. It's not the greatest redemption possible, but it is something of note. There is a 60,000 point daily maximum, but there is no annual limit if you were looking at that. Spirit Airlines is a new one. Spirit Airlines, Free Spirit, ends April 25th. This is for buying points again, up to 60,000 points with a 50% discount, getting you down to about 1.34 cents per mile. Travelodge, I've got to throw that in because there's definitely some road warriors out there. It's an Earth Day sale through May 22nd, 2 consecutive nights minimum. Complete your stay by June 1st, and the offer applies to their standard rate, and you're booking directly through Wyndham. And then that's what we have for that. So as far as some of the quick notes, and quick notes, as you all know, are ones that just can be kind of covered in a quick hit versus long information. So the first one is 3,000 Marriott points with MGM sports betting. Not encouraging you to do it, just saying that it's out there. So you would earn up to it's really 3,000 because there was a 2,000 point component, but that actually just ended recently. So it's 3,000 points for setting up your BetMGM rewards account and linking it to your Marriott account and making your first bet of at least $10. So that's a 3,000 point option. Cathay World Elite Mastercard has been re-released by Synchrony. This is clearly a niche type of card if you're a person that is really looking to fly to Asia a lot with Cathay Pacific. $99 annual fee. The welcome bonus is 38,000 Asia miles for $3,000 worth of spend in the first 3 months. And then, of course, as far as you would imagine, 3X on Cathay Pacific as well as Hong Kong Express flights and in-flight type of amenities that you might purchase. There is a 15% discount on flights to Asia as well as other places through December that you can look at with that code as well. Free Wi-Fi for AAdvantage members. Now, we've obviously been talking a lot about Wi-Fi when it comes to United as well as Delta, and American Airlines was really at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the three because they weren't even offering really free Wi-Fi. Well, they are now doing that starting January of 2026. It's going to be sponsored by AT&T, and this will be available on all aircraft equipped with VSAT as well as the Internet high-speed connectivity. All that means to you is that's about 90% of their fleet. So that will start in January. So if you're an American Airlines flyer, that should be helpful. I've got a few flights on American before then, unfortunately, so no free Wi-Fi for me. Away bag. Most people have heard about away bags. I watch them on the video, have never bought one. But if you have a Chase Sapphire card, whether it's the preferred or the reserve, there is an offer right now to bring down the cost if you are interested in away luggage. The Sapphire Preferred has a $100 statement credit for spending $400 or more, and the Reserve will do $200 statement credit on $500 or more. But those are Chase offers that you can just click on and book those directly through Away's website, not through any other sort. Chase Q2 co-branded card spending offers. Right now, it looks like 5X on targeted Chase co-branded cards, grocery stores, gas stations, and restaurants. It'll expire June 30th. Limit is $1,000. Now, normally I've seen this, as well as many other people, where they might have literally a generic link and then a link for each individual co-branded card, and they recommended you try them all. And literally it was about 20 to 25 links. Right now, I've only seen one general link, so I will have that in the description for you to use. Try that with all of your co-branded cards, just to make sure that you're not missing out on anything. Once again, these are ones that are not done through email or anything like that normally. This is when you just need to try it in the link. So good luck and happy hunting. And then the last item is the $8 credit card late fee cap. You all may remember when President Biden was in, he had basically kind of put out having a cap on late fees with credit cards being no higher than $8. Well, of course, immediately there were lawsuits to stop that. And so you had the Chamber of Commerce as well as the banking associations. And then on top of that, once Biden was out, then the new president administration was against this, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is under the government, which was for the $8 cap with Biden, is now against it with the new administration. So a judge in Texas has basically kicked it out, basically saying that it was illegal, that it went against policy as far as the $8 was not enough to cover costs, which is not surprising. So many of you all may not even have thought about it. Well, there's no reason to think about it anymore. And so the next item is the 10 busiest airports. There was a report out for the 2024 rankings from the Airports Council International. Only one of these, if you ever pay attention to these, was really kind of surprising, at least on the surface. Number 10 was Shanghai. Number 9 was Delhi. Number 8 was O'Hare. Number 7 was Istanbul. Number 6 was Denver. 5 was Heathrow. 4 was Haneda. 3 was Dallas. 2 was Dubai. And then the long-term number 1 airport for traffic is Hartsfield in Atlanta. 4 out of the top 10 are from the United States. The Shanghai one is the surprising one on the surface because last year they were number 21. But if you go back to before the pandemic in 2019, they were actually number 8 and was normally part of the top 10. And so now they've finally gotten back to the norm after the pandemic. So we should expect to see that they're going to be in the top 10 going forward. And I see LS is at Singapore Airport Gate, where they have the amazing AI generated waterfall everyone talks about. That is where the waterfall is now. I haven't been there, but I don't believe it's AI generated. Somebody can tell me. I didn't know that it was. I thought, I have to admit, I might have to claim some ignorance that I thought it was real there in Changi Airport. But if anybody's been there, make sure to chime in, or if you all have also identified that it's AI, that'll be a good education for me today. And that was what I actually had on the thumbnail, was that waterfall over in Changi Airport. So I won't bury much of the lead. Let's get to this new BILT double dip that BILT kind of quietly put out a couple of days ago. But there'll be questions that we need to ask, or we should ask ourselves. So the normal policy with BILT when it comes to rent is you use the BILT card, there's no processing fee, and as long as you got your 5 transactions, you can earn up to 100,000 points a year. That's the long and short simple one. Number 2 is if you were doing ACH payments to do your rent, and as well as a couple of others, you would earn 250 points per rent payment as just a flat fee. Then you have Alaska Airlines, who has had the partnership with BILT since Alaska became a partner. And for them, if you have the personal credit card, you have the option of using the Alaska Airlines card to pay your rent. Now, you do have to pay the 3% fee, but you can get 3x on your rental spend up to $50,000 per year. Those things have been kind of the standard. Well, what is changing now is that at this point, if you use a Discover Master, now this is using through BILT Rewards, where you don't have to have the credit card. You can sign up for free for this. If you use a Discover, Mastercard, or Visa credit card by paying for your rent, you'll get 1 BILT point per dollar, just like you would be getting on the BILT Mastercard, but you would also be able to double dip by whatever is the normal earnings rate of that credit card you're using. So obviously, if it was a Venture X at 2x, then you would get 2x on that. Now, in each of these cases, you do have to pay that 3% processing fee. So there is some math that you're going to have to figure out, and it's going to be different for everybody. It's not going to be one standard thing to look at. If it's American Express, it's going to be 1 BILT point for every $2 that you spend on rent. Now, you can earn the points with the credit card, obviously, as I mentioned, both at the same time. The 2 questions that I have, which I'm curious of what you all's thoughts are, is yes, it's good. It's something to make you think about it. It's definitely something I'll think about, although I don't have rent yet. I'm waiting for them to do mortgages. But if you do rent, is the numbers going to work out for you? Does it make sense? And I think this is where it comes down to of what credit card you choose to use and how you normally redeem your points for that card or your cash back, etc. And that's why it's going to be different for everybody for that 3%. If you're a person that really hunts for very good redemptions and you want to accumulate points, this could be an option. But definitely do your homework, check your numbers, make sure that it's going to work for you. Just don't get wrapped up in the fact that you can do it. Know that for a fact that it's going to work for you to do it. So I just wanted to make sure that was for you. Looking right here. Okay, yeah, that's it. SELS had mentioned, yeah, it's real. I've only seen pics. I agree, LS. I've seen them. I saw a YouTube video. I could have swore that I was hearing the water, but that could have been generated. So I'm amazed by it, and it's one thing on the list to be able to do sometime, hopefully. The next item is World of Hyatt, the possibility of getting 20x. Now, with this is related to Under Canvas, and this is the glamping version for World of Hyatt. We've seen this with Hilton and with some other ones. This is World of Hyatt's option. So what they're going to do is, if you use one of your Hyatt credit cards, personal or business, you normally get 4x on Hyatt anyway. But if you stay at a Under Canvas property, they will throw in another 16x on your earnings. So that's 20x. Registration is required, and it must be done by June 10th. I'll, of course, have the link in the description for you to use. This promotion is from June 1st through September 7th, and you have to make sure that your stay is completed by September 7th. The maximum points you can earn up to 100,000 Hyatt points. This also falls under Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So as part of the whole brand explorer, that might be something that helps you as well. And for people that aren't too familiar with Hyatt, you can score for each brand you deal with or stay at. And this is not over a short, certain period of time. It's forever. So I think it's 5. If you stay at 5 different brands, then you get a category 1 through 4 certificate for it. So there's a lot in there if you're looking at under Canvas. They have 14 locations, and of course they're related to national parks. I've got the 14 down there, but there's a lot of different options for you to be able to look at. So that is an option that could generate a lot of points with that. And I see Happy Tom. You're right, Happy Tom. I should have mentioned that. That whole thing for BILT, when we look at the use cases, the biggest use case for, of course, people that are in the points and miles game with their credit cards is being able to use it to take care of that welcome bonus. So you're exactly right. I'm glad you raised that. I had made a note to talk about it, but I missed it. So thank you, Happy Tom, because that is a big deal for people to look at. And then let's talk about some new hotel openings. I like to talk about these because we're always trying to see where we can make our points and miles get used at. And so when there's new openings, I always want to kind of raise them just to kind of put something out there. Maybe it might be something that might be something that you might be willing to want to look at. So the first one is the Hotel Indigo in Auckland. What's interesting about this is a 20th century motor house that originally was for importing Cadillacs into Auckland. 228 rooms, 3 dining venues, and a wine bar. This falls under IHG for the Indigo brand. As low as $122 or 15,000 IHG points. Then you have the Tour Hotel in Toronto, located in their Garden District. 232 rooms. All rooms have floor-to-ceiling windows with views of the city or the lake. And as far as their pricing, $270. Now, this is a Hyatt, falls under the Hyatt brand. This is a category 4, $270 in cash or 12,000 to 18,000 points, because with Hyatt, you're dealing with low season, quote unquote, the regular and the high for that. Now, there are a couple of discounts to be looking at. I've got different codes that are listed there for different periods of time to take 20% off on one of those, as well as there's another discount there. So if there's an interest and you're heading towards Toronto, might be something you want to look at. Then we have the Londoner Grand over in Macau, which is and I had to look this up myself. I had heard of it, but didn't know where it was. This is an autonomous region in on China's south coast. This hotel has 2,405 rooms. That is mind-blowing for one property to have that many rooms. Some of those luxury suites, though, have private pools of their own, which caught my attention, found that interesting. It's inspired by London's Mayfair district. Spa, fitness center, 5 restaurants. This is under the Marriott brand, as low as $135 or 70,000 points per night. Then we have, if you're heading to Vietnam, Hyatt Place. Now, this is going to be the first Hyatt Place in Vietnam, and it is in Ha Long Bay Bai Che. I believe that's the way to say it. 163 rooms and suites. It will include daily breakfast, an all-day international restaurant, a market, a lobby lounge, 24-hour fitness center, outdoor infinity pool with views of Long Bay. This is a category 1, which is always great, starting from $51 or 3,500 to 6,500 points. Then you go from a Hyatt Place at category 1 to the Fairmont Mumbai. Now, this is the second Accor Live Limitless Fairmont in India. 446 rooms and suites, 5 dining outlets, spa with cryotherapy chamber and red light therapy. Now, of course, when it comes to Accor Live Limitless, That's the one where for every 2,000 Accor Live Limitless points, it essentially equals $45 in US. And that is how it is. So it's a fixed number of dollar to the points as opposed to anything that really fluctuates. But that Fairmont Mumbai looks very impressive. Then you have the Orient Express La Minerva. This one is another Accor Live Limitless property. 93 rooms, 38 suites, and it is set in a 17th century palace located near Rome's Pantheon in the Trevi Fountain. I think it's pronounced that way. 3 restaurants and bars. The nightly charge is $1,585 a night. Once again, if you got a bunch of Accor Live Limitless points, you can knock that down at $45 a shot. So definitely want to bring that to your attention. Now, these are all 6 of those hotels are already open. But I want to throw a couple of 3 hotels that are forthcoming. One is a Grand Hyatt Miami Beach. Now, it is slated for 800 rooms and 52 suites. It's going to open in late 2027 for Miami Beach. You've got a Kimpton La Mer Crete. Now, this is in Greece. This is only going to have 76 guest rooms, and it's going to open in 2026. But it will have direct beach access as well as spa and 2 restaurants. Then staying in Crete, the Chena Hotel. Now this one actually is going to be opening up in July. It is only 39 guest rooms, rooftop restaurant and bar, heated plunge pool, gym, and even grocery shopping service. But it's only, and I don't know the Crete market as well, $113 a night or 18,000 points for that property. And Chena, I believe, is IHG, so that's why we're seeing 18,000 points. So I should have listed that, but that's what we're looking at for there. That's what we have for the hotels coming. Now, I mentioned about ITA as far as leaving SkyTeam, and of course, Delta is part of SkyTeam. Well, Delta announced that we might have a little bit more time if you are a person that deals with ITA. So, as I mentioned, ITA was partially acquired by Lufthansa at 49% and has joined the Lufthansa group. They, I believe, are already using the Miles and Smiles for that, but they are not going to be joining SkyTeam for about a year. So, I'm sorry, joining Star Alliance for about a year. But in the meantime, you can still earn miles after it leaves SkyTeam, because they're going to leave SkyTeam April 30th, but they won't get into Star Alliance until next year. And so starting May 1st, once they've left SkyTeam, SkyMiles members will still earn miles on their flights as long as it's sold and operated by ITA, sold by Delta and operated by ITA, or it's a case where by ITA, operated by them. So basically, it's not going to involve any partner airlines. It is just on those particular ones. Now, when it comes to award travel, it's going to be similar into Delta right now because you don't earn points on the award travel, and you won't get that when you're flying ITA. But the other part is you would normally earn MQDs even on award travel. You will not earn MQDs on award travel on ITA. This arrangement, as I mentioned, will likely last until next year once they become part of Star Alliance. And then I've listed down the different codes for each of their classes that this will qualify for. So it was interesting that they're going to still be working with them all the way up to most likely when they become part of Star Alliance. And then let's take a look at Singapore Airlines, and this is why I had the Changi airport in the thumbnail. So Singapore Airlines is going to be doing a $45 million lounge overhaul at Changi Airport in Singapore. And so I wanted to kind of go over some of these. I've not had the opportunity to go to Singapore yet, but maybe 2 or 3 years. And I'd be interested if you all have been to Singapore and what you have thought about some of these lounges. So this is all going to be occurring in Terminal 2 in Changi Airport. And this is going to involve the Silver Chris Business and First Lounges, as well as the Chris Flyer Gold Lounge. All of these are supposed to be completed in its entirety by Q2 of 2027. Now, as far as Terminal 2 will normally have the flights in from Bangladesh, Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, the Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Philippines, South Korea, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Vietnam. Now, they are also in Terminal 3 as well, but this is what goes on in Terminal 2. So their first class lounge, which is called the Silver Chris Lounge, is going to get hopefully be done at the end of this year. It's going to be more spacious. We don't have a whole lot of information, but we do know that it's going to be more spacious than the current lounge there in T2. Higher ceilings, full height windows, full service bar, also offering barista coffee, an option to have food cooked right in front of you. So that's what they have there. Terminal 3 has they're modeling this a lot after Terminal 3. The one thing that you're not going to get in Terminal 2 that Terminal 3 has is basically their private lounge, which we can touch on in a minute. The other lounge that is going to be involved is the business class lounge, which is the Silver Chris Lounge. They're going to just start that renovation in the end of 2025. They're going to make it 30% bigger than the current business lounge, more dedicated seating, including a quiet zone, expanded Asian and Western buffet service, as well as a full service bar with morning coffee and evening cocktails. Then you have the Chris Flyer Gold Lounge. Now that's not going to start until the first half of 2026, so it's a while before they get started. They will double the current capacity of the Gold Lounge. They'll add shower suites to that one, which they don't currently have, and dedicated seating. So as far as access to these, and I'll just hit on a few of those. The private room, which is what I mentioned in T3, that is only for people that fly first class or the suites on Singapore Airlines. You cannot get into that one by being a Star Alliance member, regardless of status. The Silver Chris First Class Lounge is for if you're flying first class or the suites on Singapore Airlines, or that you have Solitaire PPS Club, and then first class. And then there's different ones for if you're Star Alliance. I won't make sure to read all of them. And then we've got different ones for the Silver Chris Business Lounge. If you're flying in business with the PPS Club, flying any cabin, and then you have different status ones when you're flying a Star Alliance airline. And if you're flying business class, you can be able to do that as well. And then the Gold Lounge is really for their general lounge. So if you're an Elite Gold, whether you're in premium economy or economy, you get in, as well as various Star Alliance different members flying premium economy or economy. The couple things to keep in mind from what I've read, because I have not been to Singapore, is Terminal 3 is the standard of where their best ones are at right now. Terminal 2 will be competitive after it's done. But there is a transit train that connects Terminal 2 and 3, so you're not relegated to being in one of the terminals. So if you want to be able to, even if you're in Terminal 2, you can take the transit to Terminal 3 and be able to see what Terminal 2 should look like when it's completed, and be able to look for that. So those are the things that we have for tonight that I wanted to make sure to bring to you. Want to make sure if anybody's got questions or thoughts or concerns. And Happy, I'm definitely going to spend some time when I get off of this to look and see, is that AI generated or is it real? I would be very disappointed if the Singapore Changi waterfall is not real. So I'm going to check for that myself. But want to make sure if anybody's got anything, and definitely make sure to check out, if you're looking at the United cards or the Hilton cards, to check those out. I've got videos for those too. Marriott next week. And I will have a video out on Saturday regarding Mesa, and my beginning look of dealing with them. And hopefully it should be beneficial because that is obviously the video I talked about and looked at the options for the mortgages. Was BILT going to come out before Mesa did? And we now see that Mesa's come out and BILT is still trying to find themselves. If not nobody has anything, I want to thank each and every person for taking your time out of your busy day to come on for this. I really appreciate it. Really enjoy talking with you all. And I hope you all have a great, great evening. And I will talk with you all soon.